waiting for PIO Sturgis. That's staff, isn't it? I just switched. It said it was 5:30. You want me to just?
Okay, we are live.
Oh, yep, there it is. There we go.
Good evening and welcome to this Tuesday, July 2nd, Planning Commission meeting. We have 6 action items this evening. A chance to review the minutes from last meeting. Is there any questions, comments, concerns?
I'll move to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Have a first,
I'll second.
second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. First up is a preliminary plat application for Hurley subdivision.
Baseline Surveying, on behalf of Jess Speichler, has submitted a proposed plat of Lot 1H-2R of Hurley subdivision, H-2 and Lot 1H-3 of Hurley subdivision, all located in the west one-half of the northwest one-fourth of the northwest one-fourth of Section 16, 5N, R5E, Black Hills Meridian, City of Sturgis, Meade County, South Dakota. The purpose is to build a new custom home without having the restraints of the smaller lot. The owner does own both lots. The city will receive the building permit and tap permit fees as well as the city portion of the property tax. Staff makes recommendation of approval, and you do have a plat on the rear of that page.
Currently no house on the property.
Correct.
Okay.
And Jeff is here if you have any questions.
The only question I have, is there sewer and water into both lots at this time?
Yes, there is a tap to both lots.
Okay, so one will be removed and
Abandoned.
capped? Yeah, abandoned and capped, okay.
Pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions? Anything from the public? Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Have a first?
I'll second.
And a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Next up on the agenda, we have an approval of a preliminary plat for the plat at 2313 Colorado Drive. Baseline Surveying, on behalf of Don Burnett, has submitted a proposed plat of Lot BC of Block 2, extension of Hillview subdivision, formerly Lot B1 and Lot C1 of Block 2, extension of Hillview subdivision, all located in northwest 1/4, southeast 1/4 of Section 9, Township 5 North, Range 5 East, Black Hills Meridian, City of Sturgis, Meade County, South Dakota. The address is 2313 Colorado Drive. The purpose is to combine the two lots to allow for more space. Staff make recommendation for approval, and you do have a copy of that plat, and Shannon is here to answer any questions you may have.
There's no buildings on C1 now?
There is not.
What's that?
He plans to put a shop on that lot.
Maybe like minimal living quarters, because I could stay there while I rent the house out for a rally or something like that.
And the previously dedicated public right-of-way is gonna stay, right?
Yes, it is. Yep. I don't know if there's really a need for it, but we're not gonna try to vacate it on this plat, so, but.
Is there any other questions?
They have plumbing there?
Can you go up to the microphone by Shannon, please?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, my voice, Julie, my voice not carrying. Yeah, can I put like a shower and a sink?
You would have to either have it ran to your existing house or have pay for a new tap into the city sewer and have it on a separate bill.
So that would be a question
bill?
for our building
For
inspector.
2 taps. If you can't get it to your current house, you can,
Okay. So I need to talk to a plumber to see if it's even feasible,
yeah.
because it's a little bit lower than the house.
We would need to speak with our building inspector, Karina Davis, and we would also need to speak to our Director of Public Works, Rick Bush, to move forward with those questions.
Okay,
Yeah, those get a little tough.
and there's a pile of rubble there, and it's partly on public property and partly on my property. And it has like slabs of concrete and dirt. And I don't know if it's there to be like a barrier to keep somebody from driving off the ledge, because they have like a, what do you call it, railing at the end of the Colorado Drive.
Sure.
But there's no railing there, and I don't know if somebody was intentional there, or.
I'll
maybe
have to
somebody-
go take a look at that and we'll see what we've got going on there. I'll come and take a look at that tomorrow for you.
And there's also, that street, the water runs off into that, I don't know if Color Route.
Okay.
Naturally, that's the way it's doing it right now, on both sides of the street. I'm just curious as to like, the shop I'm looking at having like pavement in front of the door, the shop being concrete, but asphalt, because there's gonna be like snow trucks and dump trucks that or garbage trucks that need to turn around down there. And my brother told me it got to be like 12-inch thick concrete, if people are gonna be doing that.
On your property?
On anybody property, because like normally people make this concrete about, 4 to 6 inches thick. But you get a heavy vehicle in there, like a snowplow that's loaded with sand, or a garbage truck that could potentially crack the concrete.
That'd be a question for an engineer because it depends on your soils.
Yeah.
And per your soils report, then they could design the concrete to take that load, which is probably gonna be 65,000 in a tandem truck.
Right. That's also another question for Karina, the
Yeah,
building.
Karina and Rick.
Yep, those are all questions that we will address once we have the building plans for the shop that you want to build. As for right now, we're just looking at the plat. So we can address all those concerns back in the office.
Yeah, just pertaining to the variance here.
How close can the house?
Or the plat,
shop to
sorry.
the house?
We will go ahead and I will come over tomorrow and I'll look at that pile of rubble and I will bring your zoning ordinance over tomorrow and we can go through all of that then.
Is there any other questions? Anything else from the public? Is there a motion?
I'll
I'll
move.
make a motion to approve.
Have
I'll
a
second.
first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And I will come by tomorrow and I'll see what we've got going on there. No problem. I'll come afternoon. Thank you.
Next up is a consideration to approve side yard and rear setback variances for 1706 Lozelle Street.
Mary Bryant at 1706 Lizelle Street has submitted an application for a side yard setback variance from 10 foot to 4.9 feet and a rear setback variance from 15 feet to 5.8 feet. On April 10th, 2024, the owner was issued a building permit to stabilize the existing garage. The owner states that the existing garage fell down and the owner then rebuilt a new garage in the same footprint of the previous structure. Due to setback requirements that now apply to the new garage, a variance must be granted for the structure to remain. The lot is currently described as Ash Extension Lots 23, 24, Block 11, Black Hills Meridian, City of Sturgis, Meade County, South Dakota. The variance consideration criteria is listed. I can list those if you wish, otherwise I'm going to go down to the bottom. The property is zoned highway service. Signage was placed on the property May 22nd, 2024. 15 landowner response forms went out, and 6 were returned with approval. Those are in the packet with the other landowner response forms. The city will receive the permit fee. In your packet, you do have the plat as well as the highway service. You will also see towards the end, you will see the previous existing structure as well as the new. And the owner did provide a pamphlet with some more information with further pictures for your consideration. The Bryants are here if you have any questions.
I have a question for you, Brittany. I would assume it's for you. Was there discussion had that if that garage fell down with the permit that they got for fixing it, if it fell down, that there would be setback requirements and stuff at that time?
Correct, yes. That discussion was had with Dave in
Okay.
his office.
This is my son Joseph, and he does most of my talking. 'Cause I can talk. If you have any questions.
That's good to see the update. You have your.
Yep.
The conditions and circumstances are definitely there.
Is it gonna cause any visual problems having it that close to the alley where you come out of alley onto 7th Street?
No, it will not.
It's far enough off of that.
It's exactly the same footprint as the structure that was there before, just newer.
Right.
And we'll have a cement floor. And maybe a driveway.
Just wanted to wait for this.
We're not
variance.
deciding on the
Yeah.
driveway yet, but the driveway up to it will be cemented.
Pour a bunch of concrete and then have to move it.
Yeah.
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 Does anybody else have any other questions?
It's pretty straightforward.
Any input from the public? Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
And a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay. Do you know when it will, so from here it goes to city council?
Correct.
Do you know which city council meeting?
That'll be the 15th.
The public hearing will be set at the next meeting, and then I will let you know when the following meeting is. I'll make sure you guys are aware.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have consideration to approve zoning variance to allow a mobile home in medium-density residential. Josie Parrott, owner of 2921 Vanacker Road, has submitted a zoning variance application to allow for a mobile home in medium-density residential. The lot is currently described as 1655 East, 140 of North, 116.26 of Lot C4 of Lot C E2SE of Sturgis, South Dakota. The lot is zoned medium-density residential. A total of 15 landowner response forms went out, and signage was placed on the property on May 22nd, 2024. 7 letters were returned with approvals. The city will receive permit fees as well as city portion of property tax. Staff makes recommendation for approval. You will see in your packet the picture of the mobile home that will be placed there if this variance is granted, and the beacon that is in a floodway, you will see in that map, So the mobile home will have the flood venting and such to accommodate for that location. I do not believe there is representation here tonight, so if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
What's the reasoning for a mobile home versus stick-built
Cost.
cost? Okay.
It's a single mom trying to get on her feet. There are several other mobile homes in that area as well, so it does go
It'll
with
look a lot
them.
better than what's there.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just,
I was gonna say that lot's been vacant for years, so it'll be nice to have something on it.
Yeah, at least we're getting tax revenue.
Right, absolutely.
and it's going on a foundation?
No. Right? It
Yes, yes, it will.
won't? I thought it was a pier.
Nope, it will go on a permanent
An
foundation.
engineered permanent
Correct.
foundation, so it'll be, technically, they'll pull the serial number from it too, and it'll be taxed differently, more like a stick built at that point as well.
Modular instead of a mobile.
Yeah.
Mobile on a permanent foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be
I thought I
taxed
saw somewhere
similar to a
post and
stick built
pier
home.
layout. Yeah.
That has been changed.
Okay, because that's what I was looking at, thinking, because of the floodway and stuff, that they had to have it elevated for the flow through and all that good jazz.
Right, there will be flood venting and those types of things, and the utilities will be put up.
Yeah, and if I could add on that point, Aaron, we've already done some previous work on that site. Excuse me. And the existing concrete pad that's there is a half a foot below the base flood. So once we lift that a half a foot higher than that and then add the foot, I mean, the way
Out of
they
base
normally
flood.
set those up, it's gonna work out perfect, so.
Right. Okay, but I knew I'd seen a drawing with piers. No, it makes more sense to put on a permanent.
Yeah, you retain some of the value, just a little bit for resale.
Yep,
If you
absolutely.
spend the money and put it on a permanent.
Just drove by that place today.
Is there any other questions? Anything from the public? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a first
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance 2024, and that will be 06, an ordinance to repeal Sturgis Municipal Code 1923, and we have Eric Miller here to present this.
The purpose of, since this provision sits within the city subdivision regulations, we have to run through kind of an additional statutory process to repeal this provision. So we have to, and we have to hold a public hearing with the council and then run through our standard ordinance process with the council. So it's a little bit more extensive, but the ultimate goal of repealing that specific provision is to eliminate a conflict between that provision and another provision. I believe it's 1906-01 within the subdivision regulations. Essentially, 1906-01 allows for variances within the subdivision regulations. However, the provision that we'd like to repeal prevents or prohibits variances on anything platted after January 1st, 1993. So it essentially eliminates the possibility of using the variance tool when looking at new developments. As time goes on, the developments are shifting more up into kind of rougher terrain, just basically the standard layout of our city, when the flat spaces are pretty well developed, so we're shifting further up. So the use of a variance is a useful tool, especially with the rough terrain, because it provides additional flexibility to address whether or not, like building sidewalks and on the side of a hill and things of that sort that might not be very cost effective or really just serves no real purpose for that specific development. This provides the ability to use the variance tool to allow kind of variances and exceptions to the subdivision regulations. The city staff recommends approving the proposal. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So there is a new updated ordinance that would help guide some of this newer building up in the hills, but this one is conflicting with the new one?
They were passed, I believe at some point, I'm not sure exactly, this was added to the subdivision regulations, and it creates a prohibition to what's allowed, because there's a specific provision that allows variances for hardship and topography and things of that sort, and this was passed later, and it is directly in conflict with that, because essentially it prohibits variances while that one allows it.
Sure.
So it cancels out.
Yeah. Contradicting itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we see any unintended consequences with taking this ordinance away? Is there anything that could happen on the back end that we might not be looking at?
Generally, no, because if a variance is requested, it still has to go through the traditional process, and there's specific requirements as the criteria, things of that sort. So if a variance is requested, it would still have to go through the planning commission review, and then additionally going through council. So there still has to meet the criteria and be approved by both committees or council.
Perfect, thank you.
So there's plenty of safeguards in place if this is pulled.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Anything from the public? We have a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Have a first
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Last item on the agenda tonight is the annual evaluation of the city's long-term comprehensive plan. We did present this to the Planning Commission Board. You made the motion to allow us to proceed with that report on January 3rd, 2024. You approved a PowerPoint presentation at the March 5th, 2024 meeting. Items were added at request of the City Council and was requested to be in a paper report form. So you have the report that we would like to present to council. With that, we would also like to include the Junction Corridor Study and the Lizelle Corridor Study, which would be included with that report. With the board's permission, that is what will be presented to the council at the next meeting.
Yeah. Looked over it earlier. Looks good. Someone's gonna have a lot of talking to do at the city council meeting.
We're gonna hand that off to Dave.
Nice. I didn't have anything for it. Does anybody else?
Do not.
Nothing, just because we're changing the format.
We have a motion.
A motion.
We have a first
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then that was the last of the action items. Annual reviews are all good.
And just a reminder to the board that we will have the August meeting take place on August 13th at 5:30.
Have a motion for dismissal.
I'll make a motion.
The first, and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna take those.
Look at all these roundabouts.
God, I hope not.
I'm keeping them.
I downloaded them on my iPad, so.
I'll even give you the other stuff that's not much on